Hi guys. Severally I have had the stories, incidences about social service or social services coming to people's children, taking away people's children. I never imagined in my life that I would stay in the UK and have anything to do with these people. To be honest, I don't just like the name. I don't just like the name, even though I am aspiring to get a master's in that field, but I don't like the name. I'm afraid, especially when it comes to them collecting people's children, putting them in the foster care, foster homes. I don't like that. So they came for us, yes. I'll be sharing with you the story and what really happened. The thing is this, in this very country, I've come to realize I decided to share this story in the sense that something happened on Tuesday. We had an appointment, dentist appointment for my little one. So I took him to the dentist appointment. If you look at his teeth in particular, this is, May is almost running out, so in the month of ending of March, before we went on holiday, I was already praying that his major tooth, look at that, come and show us your tooth. He's scary. Look at it. It looks like a vamp. Look at this very one. Another one is growing under. He has so many teeth inside, so the new ones would grow before the new one would fall out. So that particular one up there, I wanted it out ever before his birthday on the 20th of April. In fact, ever before we traveled for holiday to Manchester. Yes. So it didn't fall out. And when we came back again on holiday around the 14th of April, I prayed and prayed. I didn't want him to have that tooth on there until his birthday. But his birthday came and passed, and our appointment was still far ahead. We usually see the dentist every 3 months. So when we got to the dentist last Tuesday, I asked the dentist to knock off that particular tooth because that was my plan. I don't want it there. It makes him look awkward, ugly, vamp. Sorry to say all that. My boy is not ugly. He's a handsome soul. Everyone knows that. So I asked the GP that I don't want that. Guess what? The GP, sorry, is it the GP? I asked the dentist that I didn't want that. Guess what? The GP went on to ask Somto if he wanted that tooth out or not. Hey, because the dentist was like, okay, if I really want that out, that means he has to give Somto sedaction injection for him to settle, so that he wouldn't feel no pain. And he asked me how he responds to injection. I said, fine. Besides, last February, two of his teeth, one tooth here, they were taken out, but at the hospital, at the sedation center in the hospital, not at the dentist practice, So they injected him, he was calm. I narrated all that to him. But this dentist insisted that yes, that go ahead must come from Somto and not me. And he asked Somto. Somto kept quiet. I said, is a yes for him? He said, no. He asked Somto again. Somto said, no. Hey, come and see me. I said, no. He would want it out. Honestly, he asked Somto for about 5 times. I said, why is this man troubling Somto? Am I not the mom? Once the mom has spoken, hey, God. The dentist did not listen to what I said. But the no that Somto said was paramount, was the final. I was like, if it were to be in my home country, man, we speak for our children, even if you are 10, 15, sometimes, most often at times with the parents decide what happened for their children in their children's life. Imagine, I was really sad. And you know what he did? He said he would give us an urgent referral, emergency referral. Guess what? That was on Tuesday. Today I'm making this video on a Saturday. I haven't received no letter. And when they say they will give you an emergency referral in this country, believe me, it might be 6 weeks, the minimum you will get. Yes, I recently had it. Yeah, because I was having this pain in my upper right backside. My necks were hurting and all them stuff. I went for an emergency appointment. They asked me to go to my GP. I called GP. GP said, okay, emergency appointment. 6 weeks was the emergency appointment they gave me to see, what is it called? A physiotherapist. Yes, chartered physiotherapist by the NHS. 6 long weeks. Now, It's been like 5 days or 4 days. We haven't received the letter yet for the emergency appointment too. So possibly by next week we'll get this letter. Who knows? It might be like about 6 weeks or 4 weeks. It's crazy, you know. So this is what happens when you enjoy free things in the UK. You know, assuming it were in our country, we would just walk into the hospital, pay for these charges, and have this tooth. That particular one, have though this time around they'll be taken out too, because there's another one that down here that is wobbling, and the inner one has already grown so big. So I asked them that they should take out two, the one here and the one down. You know, so our encounter with the social service, that was some time ago, yeah, in this very time, about last 2 weeks or thereabout. It's still very fresh. Something happened at school on the day before. I made my boy write an apology letter to the teacher. It was just a minor incident at the field. Even though I did not approach the teacher, he was a bit reluctant at the field during the PE. And I came to pick him. I saw that. I was really sad, you know, and I made him write an apology letter. But that notwithstanding, the morning he took the apology letter to school, he was all right. He was feeling happy. We were talking. My boy is usually our accurate timekeeper at home. Even he checks the time. So he told me he was excited in that morning, checking time, telling me that it's about time the bus is coming. We should be leaving the house, you know. So I took him to school, and then they called me in the afternoon. I missed their call. And my husband also called me. He was at work on a long shift. They say he missed call from Somto school. He has been calling them back. They were not taking the call. And I reported SEM too because I was calling them back. So on coming back from town center, I was on the bus at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I saw him playing outside with other kids. I said, okay, if he's playing outside, that means everything is fine. If I hadn't seen him there, definitely I plan to come off at the next bus stop, then walk into the school to find out why they were calling. You know, since they did not call back or pick my call when we called back, I presumed it was an error. Yes, and having seen my boy playing in the field with other kids. So, after 2 o'clock, I had another call from the headmistress telling me that, look at what happened, that my boy came to school in the morning and he was sad, and he reported that I hit him with something very hard in my kitchen. This was her sentence or her line of statement, that something reported that I hit him with something very hard in my kitchen. Chinyere, do you have something very hard in your kitchen? The answer is no. Did you hit something with something very hard in the kitchen? The answer is no. I didn't. You know, from the incident that happened the day before, I talked it over with him. I never reported him to his dad because I realized my boy doesn't like being talked about, especially when something happens. If you trash it with him, that is it. Don't go about reporting it, talking to the dad about it, because it will be another section of talking and, you know, cautioning. So he doesn't like that. So I ironed that. When I told them, when I told the headmistress that what happened, that I ironed it out with something at home, he said, did I use iron on him? I said, use iron on who? My own child, even another person's child. No. I said I trashed it out, meaning I solved the problem with something. So I never discussed that with the dad, because he also asked if I discussed the incident with the dad. They are trying to know why he was sad, you know, why that happened. And she said, meanwhile, as a result of that he was sad and he cried as well. So what they did, following the safeguarding principles or rules, they decided to report the incidents to the social services. I said social services again. These people, hey, see me, see gege. PM said yes, that they will be calling me. Before you know it, after she dropped the call, the next call I received was from the social services from the borough here, you know, letting me know that in fact they started questioning me, what happened, what's my relationship with my son, what's the daddy's relationship, who else is at home with us, blah blah blah. What I did that afternoon was to go to the school at they closed school at 3 o'clock, so I left my home at 2. Sorry, I was already at the school at 2:55. Yes, just to see the headmistress as well, or the head teacher, sorry. So on getting the, in fact, before I could get into the school, another set of social services or waiting, they rang me again that they want me to come to school, that they want to have a meeting with me, I said, okay, I'm already at school. They said, okay, I should wait there that they are coming. I said, good, I'm fine. So I walk into the headmistress. Why am I calling this woman headmistress? Head teacher, that's what they call them here. So when I walked into her office, she sat me down. We started talking for about 20 minutes, and I told her everything that happened. And I told her, look, ma, if una want take this boy, if you guys are planning to take this boy away from me, that is fine. I am ready for it. But one thing you must do is to get a house for me. Take me along with my boy, because this is my heartbeat. I said, you guys should be ready to what? Take me along with my boy, get a better room for us, a better house for us where I'll be staying with him, because I'm not ready to let my boy go, you know. And they understand how I've been caring for my boy, you know, taking care of him, his homework. I take it serious, the record book. Man, I mean, so I stayed and waited for the staff from the social services to arrive the school. Immediately she came. She honestly did not spend 5 minutes with me, talking with me, you know, asking me what happened and blah, blah, blah. It didn't take up to 5 minutes. Look, school closed at 3 o'clock. I haven't seen my boy. 3:10, 3:15, 3:20, 3:30, 3:45. 4 o'clock, I have not seen my boy. Hey, I say, see me, see Begio. Because the staff from the social services went in to have a chat with my boy. He spent like 45 minutes with my boy. But he, am I saying she spent about 45 minutes with my boy, talking to my boy, who doesn't even talk too much. And me that talks too much, they only spend 5 minutes with me. I don't know what they were trying to dig out or to dig up. So when the staff from the social services came back to the office, be careful, don't collide with somebody. When the staff from social services finished speaking to Somto in private, she came back to the head teacher's office. I asked her, what did Somto tell you? What did you find out? He said Somto insisted that I hit him with something hard on his palm. I said, anyway, I didn't hit him. Me, I not beat him. Whatever I did for Somto was for his own good. You know, it is our dream and aspiration that he becomes a better version of himself. And we are doing everything within our power to support him as our child. We cannot hurt I personally cannot hurt my child. Yes, because the dad wasn't involved in this case. He never knew what happened, you know. So I told her this. She said, okay, that they are going to ring my husband the next day. I said, no, he's working. Yes, he's working 8 to 8. They said 8 to 8? That's a long shift. I said, yes. They said, okay, they will still ring him maybe next week. I said, okay. And they are going to come to the house to check and blah, blah, blah. And they ask who else comes to see Somto at home. Does Somto have a friend that comes to the house to play with him? I said, no. That the friends or the families they had, they've moved to different cities. One of them, they moved to Pitali, the other one, Doncaster. So right now, nobody comes. Because what they do, if they have friends, they would like to interview their friends. Assuming Somto has other sibs, they would like to interview the sibs, you know, ask them, how is the mom and dad treating you guys? Does the mom shout? Does the dad shout out to you? Then they raise a voice out to you, or they know they raise a voice out to you? These are the questions they always ask. And you trust children, as innocent as they are, they would voice out everything like a form. You know, so in my own case, nobody comes around for now. Yes. So that was why they didn't raise the issue of contacting people and start interviewing people. Now they asked me to go home. They brought out my little boy. Yeah. Unfortunately, me, I didn't look at his palm to say, where was hurting? Show me. All I did was to hug him. Then I brought him outside. When I was going, I gave him what I brought for him, a drink and a cookie, a pack of cookie I brought for him. He had that. And I asked him certain questions. Did anybody beat you at home? You know, that kind of questions. But the truth, and nothing but the truth, is that I never hit Somto with something hard in my kitchen. Lie, I didn't do that. I don't have any cane in my kitchen, in my house, to hit Somto, you know. So I did not to do that. Nothing in my kitchen that is hard. That is the truth, and nothing but the truth. So what brought about this story is that these people would do anything to believe the kids, and definitely whatever a child says stands. So be careful what you do, what you say to your child. You come in here. I think I was lucky in my own case, being that no bruises on his hand, because assuming there was bruises or something, they would say I was the one that did it to him, that I inflicted such injuries on my own child, but I never did, so nothing, no spots on his skin. I am sure that they must have removed his clothes to check, but because this is what they normally do, they check their skin, their body, to see if there is any mark, any injury or whatsoever. They take these things very serious, so be cautious. When you raise hands on your children, you have to learn to be romantic, you have to learn to talk emotionally, learn the romantic way of approaching your children and treat them as humans with reasoning, with emotions. This is something that we don't do. Children, they don't have a say in our culture, in our tradition, but that shouldn't be. To be honest, we should respect these ones, hear their opinion. When they say they don't want this, don't force them. Hence, it is not something bad that they decided not to have. And when they ask for something bigger than you can do, tell them that it's not available. You cannot afford it. After all, queen and king, they don't give you no money, to afford whatever they want that their friends has in school or anywhere. Okay, but be as kind as you can with words, with your caring and teaching or whatever you are doing with them, because they go back to school to talk about these things, and this might be somehow implicated, which is so not right. We did not bring our children here for them to be taken away from us, and to put into these foster homes, foster cares, where they have different people coming to care for them, different people with different belief, different mentality, different way of life. I told you guys, when I was looking for a job some time ago, I walked into the foster homes somewhere on my street. The person I met there, a woman, but I cannot really see if she's a woman or a man. This is the kind of people that might be taking care of your children. People with different mentality about life, different ideology, different gender orientation. So you can imagine that this person would come today, different person would come tomorrow, which is not great. Nobody can take care of a child more than their parents. Forget about the things we see these days on social media, where parents would even hit their children to payment, would punish other people's children with iron, hot water. I don't know the kind of heart and mind those people have. It's just terrible what is happening these days. How can you how can you carry a baby in your womb for 9 months, better the child, and when treating the child, you treat the child like an animal? All these things are quite bad though. Guys, I think this is it. And since then, they never called me like they said they were going to call. They never rang my husband, neither have they rang me to say anything. So basically, I am sure that case died down, because the head teacher must have told them, even the class teacher, how I take care of my boy, how I am committed, or me and the dad, how we are committed to ensuring that our boy is good in all aspects. We take care of him. He goes to school very neat, tidy. His school uniforms, everything is hair, wear codes and maintained. I take time to help him with his homework and all them stuff. So they don't have any case against us. So possibly they close the case. It's a closed chapter right now. Forgive me if you're hearing any noise. My microphone disappointed me. I decided to pause it entirely and use my mouth to jeje. Bye for now.